Good morning, Indianapolis, Indiana. This is today, Monday, June the 4th. And now, coming up in just a few moments, we'll also have a report on the latest member of the Olympic team, a computer that analyzes the performances of great athletes. And then some not so great athletes. You'll see what I mean in a few moments. Here. 15.5 before the hour now. The United States Olympic team is about to take a long jump into the computer age. It's getting a new team member, and it's a computer. The United States Olympic Committee is announcing today that it's going to use a computer contributed by a company called Data General to improve the performances of every American Olympic contender. With us this morning is Colonel Don Miller. He's Executive Director of the Olympic Committee. And Dr. Gideon ARIEL. He's a sports scientist, a former Israeli Olympic athlete who has developed a system that we're about to show you. Let's begin with you, Colonel Miller. How much can a computer do for an athlete?
Very much, Tom. I think it's of tremendous benefit to assist our athletes in perfecting their skills technique.
Athletes in other parts of the world are already using the system to analyze what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, I gather.
Yes, such as the East Germans are using the system. However, they do not have the sophistication in their computer systems that we have in ours. They cannot manipulate the maximum data that we can. Therefore, we are very confident that we will be much further ahead than the East Germans and some of the other countries using the computer system in the very near future, if we are not already ahead of them.
All right. Dr. Gideon ARIEL is the man who developed the system. He's going to tell us about it this morning. First of all, you want to change the analysis from eyeball to hard scientific judgment, I gather. That's why you went ahead and did this.
Well, the human eye actually cannot see performance, because what performance is all about is a manipulation of forces in the body, and you cannot see forces, you can see movement. The computer can give us the data to see forces and to be able to optimize performance.
Well, we're going to show you now some performances, one spectacular and one, well, you make your own judgment, because the other day, marathon champion Bill Rogers, the premier runner in the world, he and I went out to run in Central Park, and Dr. ARIEL came along to film us. It was really a very simple and quick process. As you can see, I arranged to run first so I could always finish ahead of Rogers as Dr. ARIEL filmed us using an ordinary 16mm camera. He shot it in slow motion. We ran at various speeds. And then Dr. ARIEL took the film back, processed it, and what did you do with it after that?
Well, we fed or scanned actually your body segments into the computer, and the computer can calculate displacement, velocities, acceleration, and from that calculate forces, and actually to be able to compare you to Bill Rogers or to the horse that we also took.
All right, let's show some of that film now and some of the system that you used on the computer so we can show just what Dr. ARIEL is talking about. Changing from just an eyeball analysis of it to putting it on the computer there that you can see in front. Is that me running?
This is you running, actually in the marathon
Lost a lot of weight.
Yeah. And basically you see that you're landing on the heel, which is a deficiency because most of the force is transmitted to your body.
Yeah.
And people that running like that 10, 15 miles, obviously are going to have some problems. So the style of running is very, very important. Here is a composite picture of your leg motion.
Now, what am I, we're talking about the center of gravity there just for a moment. Am I back to the center of gravity?
Well, what we found out that you have a lot of waveform, your center of gravity going up and down, where when we compare it to Bill Rogers that you see right now on the screen,
he's leaning forward a lot more.
Not only is leaning forward, but the center of gravity does not displace up and down. This is a critical factor in running.
And he lands more on the ball of his foot.
The best runners are landing on the ball of the foot. It's enabled them to be more efficient and absorb some of the shock.
I see. Bill Rogers, who is the premier Olympic or premier marathon runner in the world, and he's our greatest hope, of course, for gold in the Olympics in 1980. Now, can you do this not just with runners, but with distance throw, with weight men and with broad jumpers and pole vaulters as well, long jumpers?
In fact, the system is much more efficient when you're doing it with power events, such as throwing events, like in the discus or in the shot, and we have a lot of success in that.
But aren't you afraid of tampering with the style of someone like Bill Rogers, who's at the peak of his form and winning everything that he's involved in these days anyway?
No, because we basically found already some problem with his running where we can help him even to be better. Also, the uniqueness about our technique that it's not invasive. In other words, we don't touch the athlete, we don't manipulate the athlete, we don't utilize external means.
You just suggest things that he ought to be doing or she ought to be doing.
That's correct.
One of the things that you learned is that women often can shorten their stride and become more efficient.
Yes, in fact, for a long time people say open your stride for a more efficient run. We found out that that's not necessarily true, because you have to land with the center of mass of your body just above the feet. So if you open your stride, you have a force that is deterrent to the progression forward.
And will everyone have access to this, Colonel Miller, so that all American athletes will have the same crack at it?
Yes, they will. We have located the capability in both of our training centers in Squaw Valley and also in Colorado Springs. Our computer center will be located in Colorado Springs under GIDEON's supervision, and all athletes will be given an opportunity to optimize their skills techniques through the biomechanics system.
Colonel Miller, Dr. Gideon, thank you very much. I may point out that my old high school track coach, Richie Greeno, would have told you that it wasn't necessary to film me in slow motion. You could have filmed me at normal speed and it would have been slow motion. 10 minutes before the hour now. We'll be back. Jane Pauley from Indianapolis. But first, this message.